our final presenter for the pitch. He's going for victory. Give it up, everybody, for none other than Adivania.
All right, so hello everybody. Good evening. My name is Adi Vaidya. I'm a junior at McIntosh High School. And over the past couple of months, I've been working on my company here, TremorTech. I'm more than excited to share with y'all. Getting the problem here. So Parkinson's disease is a neurodegenerative disease and affects roughly 1 million people in the United States. That's an estimate. And so about 70 to 90% of the people have what's called tremors or rhythmic shaking of hands. And it's the fastest growing neurodegenerative disease, and it's at the moment incurable. There's no magic drug you can take that can cure the unfortunately. Now, let's go back to tremors for a little bit. Tremors, like I said, are shaking of the hands or rhythmic shaking, and they cause a lot of difficulty in daily tasks with shaking. For example, my grandfather has Parkinson's disease. I've watched him try to fill up a glass of water. His hands just shake so much, the water goes everywhere. It's just creates a mess. It's almost impossible for him to do anything without the help of my grandmother. So I knew how to do something about it. So here's what I'm proposing. A glove to reduce these tremors, and it comes through a couple of different systems. The first one is a gyroscope right here, and it spins up a mass, which creates a stabilizing force that prevents your hand from shaking. That's nothing without an accelerometer, though, which is a sensor that controls the gyroscope. It can measure how much you're actually shaking and adjust the motor speed to that and make sure that you're not wasting battery for no reason. We also have shock absorbers right here, and so they're designed to connect to the fingers with cables and reduce the tremors in the finger. We also have vibration motors on the fingertips, and that's designed to actually soothe the tremors, from what I found from that research. Key benefits are that there's more systems. So there's other companies out there that make these gloves, but they focus on one thing. They focus on a gyroscope. They focus on an accelerometer. I'm combining into one thing. In addition to this, it's creating direct stabilization. In other words, you're not waiting for some drug to take effect or some therapy over a course of a couple of months. No, you're putting on a glove right out of the box. It's going to stop your tremors to a degree. It's predicted to be less expensive than my competitors, and it's less invasive than surgery. There's an example of a surgery in the top right here, where you put a metal implant with your brain, which is a bit of a intensive surgery, I will say, and so it provides an option if you're not into that kind of thing. Also, finally, is no medication involved, and so certain people have allergies to medications, expensive. Some people just don't like to take medication, and so my solution here requires no medication. Now, the way I see this being sold is through either B2B or B2C. And so with B2B, it'd be me selling it to like a doctor's office or a medical firm or anything of that manner. Then they can finally sell it on to the actual Parkinson's disease patient. If not, I can do B2C, which is direct to consumer, and I'll be selling it to the actual Parkinson's disease patient myself. So what do I ask my wonderful audience people here? I need some help with the design of this. And so as you can tell, this is probably a prototype, right? It's not even the MVP yet. So I need help with the engineering side of things, making this more of a final design that I can actually sell to people. So I need help with the biomedical engineering side of that, electronics engineering side of that, and I also need help with the medical side of that and making sure that my glove is the appropriate path to reducing these tremors. And so talking with physicians, ensuring that's the right case, and going on from there. Finally, I need help with regulation, and that comes into two parts. So of course, since this is a medical device designed to reduce the effects of some disease, I have to get FDA approval or Food and Drug Administration approval to sell this in the United States. I also need regulation help when it comes to the patenting of this, because it's very important to protect your intellectual property, especially when something that's so proprietary like this might on my hand. So I think that concludes it from my side. Thank you for listening.
So Adi, really great job. Was it on the whole time you were talking?
No, it's not on right now because I want to move my hands around a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how old you are?
I am 16 years old.
16 years old. Really well done.
When I was 16, I invented a similar device. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So you said they're competitors. What would your device market for versus what theirs markets for?
Right. So theirs markets mainly, it's the same market, right? Give or take, Parkinson's disease patients. Like I said, the difference is the amount of systems on board, right? So I have way more systems on board. Like I said, other companies focus on just a gyroscope, just an accelerometer, just something else. But I combine these all together into one product. And like I said, I can produce it at a lesser cost at the moment as I'm estimating.
Yeah, so what is the cost of the other ones that have a lower feature set versus yours?
Yeah. So there's one out there. They're selling in the UK, and they cost about $6,000 per glove, landed or not landed to the consumer. Sorry, and so they have just a gyroscope.
And you said you'd be cheaper than that?
Yes. This prototype on my hand right here costed me roughly $100 to make, give or take.
So what's driving the difference in prices?
Yeah, of course, it's difficult to tell from an outside perspective. My assumption is fit and finish. Their fit and finish is a bit higher than this, you could argue. But also, they're in the UK, so I don't know how their system comes towards their version of the FDA. So maybe they have a lot of costs when it comes to getting an FDA approval, patenting, licensing costs, et cetera, et cetera. It's my estimate, my guess.
Will you need FDA approval?
Absolutely. Because it's designed to reduce something, you have to have FDA approval, yes.
Okay. And then once you said to B2B or B2C, right? How would you, each one of those directions you need marketing, how would you plan to market this?
So it's obviously dependent on the type. And so B2C is the harder, in my opinion, to consumer, because I have to get, outreach towards the population I'm targeting, getting, campaigning online, et cetera, et cetera. That's a difficult thing. B2B is more simpler because I have contacts with doctors' offices like Piedmont locally. I talk with them. And so I'm able to get to theirs and present to them my design right here.
What about medical conventions?
So, sorry? I didn't hear.
What about medical conventions going?
Oh, yeah, so
displaying
the conventions, yeah, that's another place. Yeah, you can go to medical conventions. They have lots of these different ideas out there, and we have important people walking through, and yeah, we can definitely market there.
I have a suggestion. Considering you have a prototype, right? So that is a great accomplishment.
Thank
Okay. Now what you need is a partner who can take it from where you are as a
Yeah.
prototype to production. Now, since you're in the bio space, the first thing I think about is, the university. But
Yes.
in this particular case, I think you're more advanced than that
Mhm.
because you already have a working prototype. I would suggest to you with going to conventions where there are manufacturers and companies
Yeah.
that offer similar and try to partner with them so that you can grow and also they can provide their expertise to take you to the next level.
Yep.
And I right now can't think of anything for as who they are.
Yep.
But however, I know you're smart enough to look it up.
For sure. Thank you for that.
Yeah, one other point along that line. I love the idea that Doris has about going to manufacturing.
Yep.
But I'd keep my prototype hidden. I wouldn't want people to know everything that's going into it.
For sure.
You want non-disclosure agreements in place
Yes.
with people
Right.
that are
For
seeing the full capability and
For sure.
everything that you've got into it. But the idea of locating people that manufacture medical device, it's not only smart from a manufacturing standpoint, but if they're in that space already, they know about medical regulations and,
Yes.
and FDA and everything else.
And also they can get to the market faster than anyone else. So protect yourself, but go and find.
So that comes to the patenting process and getting that done. I need to get that done as soon as possible.
What are you going to go on to college?
For sure.
And what do you plan to study?
Most likely mechanical engineering, that's my guess.
Really?
Yes.
You don't think that's a stretch for what? No.
Maybe, I don't know.
Can you explain? You've been here at Launch Fayette. Can you
Yes.
explain kind of how Launch Fayette has helped?
Yeah, so I have my advisors. Mr. Justice is in the back. He helps me. We have meetings every week, talk through our processes. I show him, prototypes throughout the stages. What does he think of it? He gives me more insight on the business side of stuff. So like what is B2B, B2C marketing? I didn't know that before I came to here, but they gave me that insight that I didn't know about. And so we've been working together. He's gotten me connections to other places, like I mentioned, the doctor. So yeah, it's really helpful. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Well done. It's really nice.
Yep.